Well, with me now is Tim Crookall. Now we have to think which department we're in. Department for Enterprise, ex-DOI, which is really, I know we've got to start with DOI, only because like the Independent's gone with a big headline. What's it?
I believe so. You've just told me. Yeah, I've one or two messages.
It was a bit derogatory, but yeah. No, but seriously, just to park what you said about buses, did you really believe that all the buses had run on time? That's all. Because I mean, this is what I think the insinuation was. But other people have made that maybe you.
Yeah, but you've heard other people have also said they didn't have any problems. So there obviously were, and I'm not saying there obviously were problems. Of course, there were problems.
But were they all running? I think you were very evident they ran late.
They ran late and things. Yeah, but what I'm told is every bus that was scheduled to run ran. But obviously, by the time they got through their duties and things, they were running late because of traffic or incidents or whatever the case may be. So you
dispute that there were cancellations and above?
I am going to leave that with Mr. Thompson. I've had the conversation. I've had the conversations with Chris because if I was still there, I'd be looking at it because obviously,
Well, you get told, don't you, what's going on?
Yeah, and that's not just somebody answers those questions for me. We get the questions. There's somebody who does the answers, but they're not the only person who ever answers them to see that. It comes up through a chain, if you like, of 2 or 3 people to check those. So what I'm saying is, what I'm told is, that if those buses are scheduled, then those buses went out of there, and some of them will have been late, and we know they were late because people were seeing, as Mr. Morehouse says, one bus kept going while there was another one pulled up behind. But the drivers are in contact with each other, and if they haven't got to drop somebody off, but the next bus does, then the next one stops and the other one keeps going to try and catch that time up. It is messy. It was messy, Paul. Absolutely was. Right. But the guys and girls did a great job. They pulled out all the stops literally to do as good a job as possible. And I want to thank them for that, and the staff at the airport, and everybody else involved.
You're glad you're out of this, aren't you?
No.
You got moved.
I know I did.
You got moved.
I know.
You didn't ask to move, did you?
No,
you
got moved. No. The Chief called me in for a conversation last week, and obviously there was a position to fill after David had resigned from Treasury and Alex had moved on. And Chief's obviously been looking at what to do, and then he just called me in last week for a conversation. He said, "I'm thinking about you going to DfE."
Well, is that? I mean,
it's like
is that saying
poker face time? It's like, really?
Is that saying he didn't think you did a good job? How did you read it when he says?
No, I didn't read. I didn't read it like that. He's obviously got a pack of cards to play with, and you've got to look at your cards, what you've got, and he asked me to think about it over the weekend, and he would reassess the situation and stuff. And
so you could have stayed if you really wanted to, do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
He asked me to do it. He asked me, and I went back to see him on Monday, and he said, "Look, I want you to go to DfE."
Okay.
So I just said,
this is a department that no one seems to know exactly if it has a long-term future. Even the chief has sort of indicated he's going to review it. Or do you feel you might be winding the whole thing up? Or
no, absolutely not winding it up. No. I mean, there will be changes, as he said as well. We're looking. Every department's looking at what they're doing. And DOI and DfE are probably the 2 big ones that are looking at what they're doing. But no, it's certainly not winding it up.
Okay.
No.
Well, the difference between spending God knows what on the Liverpool landing stage is this one is all about you get lots of money to spend on trying to encourage the business in the Isle of Man, which I don't know, the success rate's been over stunning. I wouldn't know how you describe it, but have you got ideas and ambitions?
I'm literally just getting my feet in the door and stuff, and just started talking to all the senior officers and that yesterday, and but over the next week or two, I haven't even had a chance to speak to the political team yet as well, because 1 or 2 of those are ill. So we'll get together the next day or two. But
isn't that the thing about moving somebody? You knew what you've been there long enough to know what the DOI was about, I assume. And here we go. It's all up in the air, and you taking over. And they could put someone straight into that department, couldn't they?
Well, they could have done, but the chief, for whatever reason, has decided he didn't want to do that, and he wanted to put me. He's asked me to go there. So I say we're here to do a job, and if you haven't got a good reason, then I think you have to do it.
What does the Department for Enterprise really have as its lead points? I mean, you must know where we're going.
You've interviewed enough ministers from DfE over the years, I should think, because I've been told what they do. But they've got the 4 agencies, they've got the shipping, the aircraft registry, and it's a very busy department. But it's the department that's entrusted with trying to bring business and money into the island, whereas all the other departments are the spenders. So. There's a lot of pressure on the department to deliver, for sure.
And all these things you left behind, I mean, almost finished. You almost did the ribbon cutting on this and that.
I told you there was never going to be a ribbon cutting.
But, you disappointed. I mean, I'm asking the same sort of question here, but, really, would you have preferred just to carry on where you were?
I was enjoying it. I thought I'd have had 2.5 years down there till maybe a mini reshuffle or mid-term reshuffle. But it is what it is.
Something that happened on your watch, the Ian Longworth story. I mean, retirement.
Mm-hmm.
what's the inside story? You're not going to tell me, I'm sure, but I'm asking you anyway. What
He's retired.
Yeah, look at that look. I mean, everyone's retired. Not one person's moved on.
As he said, he's got to that age and he's decided to
I know
to
he's
retire.
With a lot. I mean, he's retired once before. He came back, didn't he? And he's
I wasn't around at that stage, but he's decided whether he had wind. I was going and he felt sorry for me and he went in sympathy. I don't know. No, seriously, he's just decided to retire and he's gone.
So, are you going to be the man that's going to be there to the next election now for this new job? I mean, as far as you're concerned, you don't.
Well, who knows? I mean, I would have thought, and it has been done in past. Mr. Quayle didn't do it, but past chief ministers have had midterm reshuffles. And I think it's a good thing to do to give other people the experience. So I would only expect.
Would you be happy to be a backbencher again then?
Yeah, it's all about giving people experience and things like that. Absolutely, there's other people that are going to be around long after I've gone, and I've said to you in fact before, there's younger, better people out there that are coming up and through, and if I thought there's somebody better to do the job, the chief obviously asked me to do the job, but if I thought there was somebody better, I would have said no. Why don't you ask so and so?
Now, I know we can't say too much about it, but it did happen on your watch with these terrible accidents in TT, and of course 2 happening in exactly the same place. That road was redone, wasn't it? I'm right on my timescale here. Was it during when the TT was off for 2 years? Was that when the resurfacing took place?
I honestly don't know when it was done. So I heard yesterday somebody said they thought it had been done during the last 3 years since the last races.
I thought it was
honestly don't know that.
I mean, it must be.
There's inquiries. The guys are looking at it. It's just, I want to offer my condolences and my thoughts with everybody that was involved. The families, the friends, the teams. It's just horrendous, and it's just so sad. It's a great event, and it's just so sad.
What's your views on the TT?
I love it. I think it's a great event. I really do.
I mean, I put to the chief about these 5 deaths and no politicians can come forward. I mean, you've just done it there for me, but the chief's done it also. But it seems like a whole week gone by without anyone making any public comment at all.
Yeah, no, it is very, very sad. It really is sad. An accident is sad, but when you lose somebody, it just brings it home to you for the family and the friends and the teams and everybody involved. And it hurts like hell, to be honest with you, because that's the really bad side of it. But it is a great event, and the guys and girls keep coming back for more. They understand it. The families understand it, and and that sounds really horrible at times to say that, but
it's hard to contemplate that. People watching this totally separated from the other man and TT fans don't get it, do they?
No.
And right, we were number 1 on the news agenda over the weekend about banning the TT.
But when it happens, we have to be able to step back and let the investigators and the professionals look at it and find out what went wrong, and then we government, DOI, DfE, spend as much time and money as we can making the course as safe and as safe as possible, and we'll just
And with your other hat on, Peel Day, fantastic. People, isn't it? They always go down to Peel these days. I didn't see myself.
Peel Day was super this year. I mean, it was absolutely rammed.
You got a Manx tan there, I can see.
Yeah, absolutely. I've not been away anyway, honestly.
Was your head in the stocks again? He's always
it was a few weeks ago, but not at Peel Day.
Right.
That's
okay.
right, yeah.
But there's a serious thing. There's this economic activity, the whole thing about the TT. But,
but it's really good. The TT brings over around 40,000 people every year, and they go to all these different events all around the island, and that's what it's all about. It's worth £30 million plus to the island. So, some businesses absolutely depend on it.
So you totally believe in the future of the event?
Yeah, I think so. I think if we'd have not had it this year, I think we might have struggled not only with like Marshall's numbers and that, but health and safety and other bits and pieces. And I think it would have, after 3 years without racing, or maybe it would have been 4 years without racing from race to race, I suppose. It would have been really hard. But thankfully, in my view, it was on, and
Okay. Just finish with, when's the big policies coming out with your department, your new department? When are you going to make some big headlines?
Oh, you have to wait and see.
Are you going to make?
I'm sure.
Oh, you have got your own ideas though. Have you got your own plans and ideas, or are you just happy to just take over what's going on?
Not at the moment. Yeah, at the moment I'm just going to pick up the reins, see it. Literally, because I mean, this time last week I was happy down at DOI, so it's literally been sort of finish off TT. Long weekend last weekend and things. Before you know it, this week, with 3 days in now, and it's like new department. So early doors, just finding out. So I've got to speak to my political team and get to know what's what, and we'll move on from there. But looking forward to it. New challenge.